Dr. Leyland. Step into the future, the world is waiting now. Dreams are in the making, we'll show you how. From the books to the screen, from the stage to the stars. Level up your game, let's raise the bar. Innovation, inspiration, it's in our DNA. Breaking through the limits, we're paving the way. Level up, reach the sky, take the lead, don't be shy. Your story's worth it, your light will shine. At Level Up Academy, it's your time. Oh, it's your time. At Level Up Academy, we rise and climb. Empowered in your passion, your voice will be heard. Building a legacy with every word. From podcasts to pages, from business to art. Level Up's the place where it all can start. With heart and with vision, we're chasing every goal. Together we'll ignite the fire in your soul. Level up, reach the sky, take the lead, don't be shy. Your story's worth it, your light will shine. At Level Up Academy, it's your time. Oh, it's your time. At Level Up Academy, we rise and climb. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Oh, we're trailblazing, breaking through the mold. Dreams are alive, let your story unfold. With courage and pride, we'll take the fight. At Level Up, we own the night. Level up, reach the sky, take the lead, don't be shy. Your story's worth it, your light will shine. At Level Up Academy, it's your time. Oh, it's your time. At Level Up Academy, we rise and climb. So let's level up and never look back. On the road to greatness, we're on the right track. Together we'll soar, together we'll thrive. At Level Up Academy, we're alive.
Woo! Hello, everybody. Welcome. Happy Sunday. Yes, it is Father's Day today. Happy Father's Day to all the men who show up, stand tall, and lead with heart. Whether you're a biological dad, a stepfather, a grandfather, a mentor, or a father figure, your influence goes far beyond the role. It becomes a legacy. Today, we pause to thank you not just for what you do, but for who you are when no one is watching. You may not always hear it, but your steady presence shapes lives. Your sacrifices matter more than you know, and your love, even the quiet kind, speaks volumes. In a world that often celebrates the loudest voices, fathers reminds us that of the quiet strength that anchors families and communities. Fathers, you teach by example, not perfection. Through the highs, the struggles, the dad jokes, and the lessons disguised as everyday moments, you model resilience, honor, and responsibility. You don't just protect the home, you build it, brick by brick, through encouragement, integrity, and the kind of leadership that lasts a lifetime. Now, at Level Up Academy, we know that fathers are some of the original legacy builders. Your commitment inspires us to rise higher, dream bolder, and love deeper. Today, we celebrate you, whether you're guiding your children, your students, your teams, or your communities. Know that your impact is seen, valued, and appreciated. Happy Father's Day from our family to yours. Welcome, guys. Welcome to Level Up Academy. This is your host, Dr. Leland. All right. So today I'm going to talk about a couple of our sponsors. The first thing is, of course, my dear sister, Susanna Don, right? She's an amazing writer, editor. She does a lot of things. She's definitely a good listener. I definitely think that if she really wants to, she can definitely be a good psychologist or a psychotherapist. Um, Not just from her own experience, but her ability to just be a good listener. We had some family of Level Up, right, who needed our help just for venting and listening. And I couldn't help this person to vent or listen or be on the phone because I was spending time with my daughter. I needed some time with my daughter. But I also love my community. And I asked my sister to call this person. This person literally was so grateful for our community because we called and we care. I just had a weird feeling in my gut, and I would hate it if I didn't do anything in my power. And the first person that I was thinking of helping that's really good was my sister Susanna, because she helps me. She helps a lot of us just be a good listener, right? So, despite of all the zone of genius that she has as copy editor, course creator, she speaks for a lot of, really what she does is moving beyond boxes and shining, is because it's true. You hear it all the time, moving beyond boxes, moving in boxes, but you really don't think until you're in it, right? And she's living proof that you can move beyond boxes despite what's going on in your life, right? Now, of course, my brother from another mister, and I told him to go to his family, literally, right? He's texting me, like, what about this? What about that? I'm like, listen, you have a 12-year-old, 13-year-old now, and you need to spend more time. Today is this very special day. It's Father's Day. Spend time with your kids. Give your kids and your wife a big hug for me, because you're trying your best to really do it for your family, but being present sometimes is the most amazing gift you can possibly be and give to your family. So be present. I know that everything that you're doing is for your family, but today you need to take a break. Just take a break for a minute. And so I'm hoping he is taking a break and not in research mode, okay? But Hounds of Business, Mike Asherbanner is the only community that I belong, despite of all other communities. Maybe soon I'll have an in-house community. I'm exploring project management international community here, local in San Diego. I just spoke with their CEO late Friday night, actually, because I want to, I volunteer a lot globally. I'm known globally, but I want to volunteer back again to my community. I have done that for a long time in my community. I want to go back to it. And I want to do speaking engagement to inspire others, right? To do more and be more, whatever that they want to be within that self actualization stage. But Mike Asherbanner is continuously innovating within the HOB. Actually excited of what he's doing. He's cutting through my realm, which is creating bots. And I'm so happy. Like, so excited. But specifically for HOB. So I'm loving that conversation. If you ever need to know how to be present in social media and how to be you doing business, this is the community that you belong to. Just go ahead and scan that QR code right there. All right. And then our next brother from another mister, which is a fellow hounds, by the way, and so is Susanna, is a fellow hounds, is here for 8-week transformations. Baz Porter. Okay. He has an 8-week program and course that can help you elevate and level up yourself. Right. Sometimes we're so busy trying to do self actualization and find our purpose, but maybe sometimes we need to do it for ourselves before we do it for others. Every day, what we do is for other people. You need to actually level up your own self to really feel good about helping others, so that you're also aligned within yourself. And I like that last right there says sustainable success. It's so amazing, because once you're successful, you get to sustain it. And that is the hardest part, right? You can level up anytime you want, but how do you sustain that level up stage? I love that 8-week program that Bass has. And of course, he creates communities. A Million Dreams is another community that he's done. And go ahead and scan that QR code and just take a look and see what he has to offer to level up communities. All right. And of course, I love, 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 love this elixir, guys. I'm actually going to be talking about this more and more and more in terms of sponsorship soon because of what it does from the inside and out. We're talking collagen, we're talking joint support, we're talking other amazing things. But I can't wait to actually interview the scientists who did this. Okay. And then, of course, our platform at Influencing You, 10 a.m. PST on Fridays and 50 inspirational connections. I'll be posting that until you're sick and tired for the next 2 3 weeks for sure, because we are building community, legacy, and the ripple effect. This is more of a there's cash prizes on this one. And this is our third year actually doing so. Who is actually the 50 inspirational connections you have here on social media and why? I'll be going live on TikTok soon about this as well. All right. And then, of course, CDV. We have a golf event coming up in July 14th. That is like my birthday weekend, I think. 2025 here in sunny San Diego. So if you're not here in San Diego, it's okay. And you're like, well, where is the money going? The money is actually going to families. When you scan that QR code, you actually go directly to this website that you see right here, and it will explain to you exactly what CDV is doing. And Agape is an amazing founder of CDV. And if you know her story, she has a YouTube channel as well. Get to know her. Okay. She is going to be on there. So I think that is all I have for sponsorship. So we're going to talk about unmuted truths. What's been conditioned to hide? What are we doing? What have been conditioned to hide? What are we conditioned to hide, sister? Talk to me. What do you think? How are you doing?
I'm getting by. We're we're conditioned to hide how we're doing. That would
That's what you
be
said. You're like, I'm getting by.
that would
Okay.
be up at the top, and then you have to start figuring out the to read between the lines in so many ways because it it's like we're told you can't really tell people how you're doing because they might look at you differently, they might view you differently, they might not want to be around you anymore because you're going through a tough time. And that's just because you're going through a tough time is not doesn't make you any different. You can still do pretty much everything because doing that normal stuff is what keeps you from sliding all the way down into that dark valley of shadow.
Yeah. And sometimes we just need someone to remind us how amazing you are and that information that you have is there. Let's talk about fear because fear is real. Um, when you think about fear, it's actually because, okay, we're going to do a little bit of psychoanalysis. Okay. Fear is existing because you want to control. Think about that for a moment. You want to control the outcome of something that you're going through. And if you can't control it, your fear is the opposite of happiness, which is, I'm scared if this happens to me. So then, how do we combat fear so that we don't have any more fear at that moment, at this specific topic? Because fear will always exist. We're
Mhm.
conditioned to fear. Okay. So, to be aware of your current fear, because fear creates anxiety. And that anxiety creates a ripple effect, not eating, being nauseous, not able to sleep, not doing your job. You can get fired from that fear because you're just fearful of other things, but now everything else you're frozen. You can't do your job because you can't function. You're sick to your stomach. Your brain is on replay on all the negative things and you can't get out of it. Now add that to pounding of bills, add that to ruin friendship. You're just done at that point, right?
Mhm.
Because you feel boxed in, even though it's invisible box, but your entire heart just start palpitating. You're like, wow. And that root is just fear of the unknown because you want to control everything. And I actually realized that like we want to control everything, so we're fearful of the outcome. But what if we let it go? How do we let it go? What do you think?
Let's see, you start singing songs to let it go. That was the big
Yeah,
one last year.
that's true. Like, let it go, can't hold it back anymore. There's another song. What was that song? Oh my gosh, I had it like 2 seconds ago in my head too. I'm like, oh my god, you gotta let it go. But it's
Oh,
like,
it's Megan Trainor.
yeah, but that one actually, I think it's the no, like you want my
It's no,
number or
that one is
something. It's the
no.
no. Yeah,
Yeah, that
but
one
I
is no.
want that. Yeah, it's like no, we can't do this. So, how do you personally deal with your fear?
Sometimes it's just sending a message that says, "This is where I'm at." Because there are times when I go ahead and Danielle said she's singing. There's times when you send the message of how you're doing and the fear that's built up and all this stuff. And once you send that message to somebody, it's like it put a hole, popped a hole in the balloon, and it may not decompress all the way, but it does feel better. Because when you're in the middle of it, at least when I get in the middle of it, it can be really hard to accept, even to tell ourselves, it's like this person said this person said this person said this, but you're stuck in the middle. And like you said, you don't know what's really going to happen. So there's that fear of the unknown, that fear of what could be. And unfortunately, I think a lot of us, our brains are probably trained to go down those rabbit holes and see where we end up, which it's never a good place when you let your brain go through those type of runs.
When you're sitting there and you're fearful of something, what do you do?
Pray.
Okay.
I have my specific chair, and many times when that hits, it's to go sit in that chair, because to me it's like that's God's chair in the room. So that's where he is. It's like that's the spot that I can, if I sit in that chair, I am with him, as opposed to I'm still with him wherever I'm walking and the spirit and everything, but it's like it's this one spot. It's like an anchor, um, where that's the spot that I sit down and allow myself to cry through it, to talk through it, to both through it, and listen and see what I hear during all of that, to be able to stop when I know I'm on that path where I'm sitting there. It's like I'm trying to listen, and then my brain goes off somewhere. It's found a rabbit hole or a squirrel to chase. Awareness says, okay, that's enough of this. Don't want to do that anymore, and get back to listening.
Yeah. Um, okay. So I love like labeling things like, I don't know, it's my math combined with my creativity, my logic stuff and my creativity, just kind of create frameworks. I like frameworks. I like everything structured. And the way I think of fear, the FEAR, fear is face what's been silenced. What have I been afraid to say, share, or show? Right? I used to be so afraid of accents because people made fun of it in school.
Mhm.
Yeah, I had a thick accent. I still have an accent now. Doesn't really matter. But that was something that I was faced being silenced. And so I identified the belief or the experience that I've been hiding, like, oh, I don't want to talk. Most people have a lot to say, but they don't talk because of that fear of judgment or fear of being wrong. Who cares if you're wrong? I care because I don't want to look like a fool, right? Ask whose comfort am I protecting by staying silent? The majority, of course, right? Think about our country. We're fearful to say something because it could hurt other people and you could be canceled. We've been living that, not just now, we've been living that for the last 5, 10 years, afraid to be canceled. You don't want to say what you really tell or what you really feel because people will judge you and people will bully you, right? Shine a light on the silence. The step one. Write a truth I've never said out loud in your journal entry, right? That's the F part. Like that. I'm gonna mute you real quick because I can hear your typing. Okay. My ADHD stuff is like going somewhere else. So face what's been silenced is the F. Now E is literally examine the origin. Who actually where did this fear come from? Right? Was it cultural? Was it parental? Was it religion? Was it the religious part? Is it corporate? Or is it social media? Like, examine the origin of your fear. Fear is often inherited, by the way, it's not chosen. You don't choose to be fearful, right? Name the source and take that power back. Ask yourself, whose voice is this really? Is this mine? Separate your truth from the one that you actually have been taught to do, right? And then the A in fear to me is activate the opposite. I'm good at that. What courage look like in this moment? Just freaking do it. That's what I always say. Fear says, stay small, CJ. And then courage says, be seen anyway. Take one visible action. I don't know, post a story, make the pitch, say the thing that people don't want you to say. Don't wait for fear to disappear because it doesn't. It actually grows. Move while it's still in the room. Fear is fed through not doing anything. One bold move is micro actions because those little micro actions that you do rewires your brain to self trust. Trust your own judgment rather than trusting your previous experience, right? And then the R in fear is reclaiming the narrative. Your fear, when you flip it, becomes your platform. When you speak on it, write about it, teach it, monetize the dumb sucker, right? Make it part of your brand and leadership voice. Like, okay, I'm fearful of this. I used to think this is what's happening. Turn that fear into a story, a lesson that you can offer people. Really, I used to hide this, but I don't do this. You realize some of these, even like Mel Robbins or all of these other people, they talk about their past and how fearful they were of doing the thing that everybody's fearful of, public speaking, telling that they have a depression, they have an anxiety, they have a bipolar, they have a, they have a whatever, right? Develop yourself by really looking within because that's the only way that you can really grow, right? So that's my fear framework. What do you think of it, sis?
I like that. I went for to write down the R, um, the or your comment about flipping it because it makes so much sense when you are aware of it, then you're able to take action. You're able to move to the next level. When you let it control you, it's hard to level up. It's hard to move beyond boxes. you're too busy listening to whatever seductive voice it's using to keep you back. You really do have to flip it to be able
Yeah.
to move forward.
Think about our own experiences, right? We have people lie about us, really, literally lie about us. And they've been able and managed to infiltrate our circle of people, our friends, and lie literally about us. And they're so comfortable of doing that. Are we not speaking? Are we muting ourselves based on fear or based on something else, right? Because when you don't talk about the thing that they're talking about, then it's a one-way street. And the more people, you know how it is, the louder the people are, the louder the people can hear. But if you're silenced, then no one can hear what you're saying. I think it's a choice. For me, I don't speak about it. It's because I don't want to have my heart and my head aligned in negativity,
Right.
right? Because you're feeding the monster of negativity. The very thing that you're fearing about, you're giving power to other people's platform. And I'm not going to lower myself on the pigsty. I just won't. But at the same time, if you think about it, life is so not fair. They can lie about you all day long, and the people that they're lying to doesn't really know who you are, so they fall for it. But the opportunity is so lost. It's like, where do you go from that stand? People like to lie, like you right now. You're going through that, right? Everybody. Our person on this weekend also is lied to a lot, right? And he's going through that thing. So, how do we internally stay strong? Like, what emotions or parts of our story do we need to not mute in order to be accepting? I think first you have to accept yourself, and you have to have boundaries on where you're going to go. It's so easy to react to negative things about you, but it's so hard to control yourself not to stay in that negative space. What do you think?
That's the trick. Too many people, when you start playing their game of they're talking negative, they're talking, and in many ways you don't know what they're telling people. You just know that everything that's coming out of their mouth is negative. It's really designed. You get the feeling that all they care about is finding ways to hurt you. And we've dealt with that on many different levels, on many different occasions. I sit here and think about things that have been said even recently. They're designed to hurt. They're designed to evoke an emotional reaction. Because when we start doing those emotional reactions, sometimes we lose control over what we say, and then you start getting into a yelling match, a shouting match, and it becomes such a waste of time, such a waste of energy. These people who this is all they care about is trying to tear you down, they're not worth the additional energy. And sometimes too, you listen to those around you that you trust, whether it's your best friends, depending on the situation, if it's an attorney, if it's a pastor, whatever, and you listen to what they say. And if they say, don't cross this line, you don't cross the line. And you let the others just blow themselves out. And eventually, it may take longer than you want, but eventually they will blow themselves out, because that's all they can do. They're not getting the kindling. They're not getting the argument from you that they're trying to evoke. They're not getting you mad like they want to try and prove their point. It's not worth it to help somebody prove their point when their point is wrong.
Yeah. It's when someone is already convinced that you're wrong, you're not going to convince them otherwise. And why?
Yep.
So here's I always like to talk about structure and philosophers. I love learning, but what are we conditioned to hide is the question, right? So I'm going to have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 list. We're going to talk about the emotional truths first. Grief, sadness, and depression, right? You got to stay strong. It's gonna pass. When you're sad, it's like, get over it. It's done. It's been a year, right? People will tell you that. Anger or rage, especially for women and marginalized groups. People don't understand why these people or certain people are so angry all the time. It's because they're always oppressed. They're always told not to do things. And if they're doing something right, it's wrong anyway. You cannot never do anything right, right? Fear or vulnerability, seen as weakness in many culture. You can't talk about these things. You can't tell them that you have this issue, right? So that's emotional truths. The second one is identity and authenticity. And hi Thamar, hi Mark. Al actually is here, right? Men are silenced a lot. You can't cry. You have to be strong, right? Identity and authenticity. When you have accent, people get made fun of. Ethnicity or cultural background, right? There's fearful of, like, oh, especially right now, especially in California right now. Just saying. Gender or sexual identity. Those are something you have to fear about right now too, right? Being neurodivergent or disabled. Well, maybe they can't do the job because they're this, based on the label, based on whatever. Neurodivergent, what does that mean? Oh, she can't think straight. She can't finish whatever, right? If you're too ambitious or you have too much drive, oh, don't be too much. You're too much, right? Life experience and failure, abuse, trauma, divorce, bankruptcy, job loss, past mistakes or regrets, poverty, or growing up in survival mode all the time. And you don't know how to not just be in survival mode because you've been doing it all your life. And all of a sudden, people like, you're fine now. You can breathe. Don't that. And you're like, who are you going to tell me not to do that? That this is all I know, right? Or wanting more money or love or freedom. You get judged like, oh, you're so money hungry. You're a gold digger. What gold? I haven't seen gold yet. Like what? Right? Choosing an unconventional life path. That's something to be fearful or desired. Like, oh, wow, no, don't do that. Right? Rejecting cultural or family expectations. That's a huge one. Being a rebel, misfit, or a rule breaker. Oh, she's a bad person, even though you just think differently, right? So here's our philosophers: Michael Foucault, Power and Social Control, or Foucault. He basically argued that society uses institutions like schools, prisons, or even the media, big media, to normalize the behavior, creating a gaze that makes us self police, right? We silence ourselves to avoid punishment or rejection, even when no one is watching. Bella and I were just talking about this conversation. It's like we have a war right now. People are killing other people, and then you go to your TikTok and you see all this people crying and dying and children, and then the next flip you see, get ready with me with my red lipstick. It's like Hunger Games, like Bella said. When did we actually do that? Think about it, guys, for a moment, right? It's crazy. Now, Bill Hooks, Silencing and Oppression. Hooks discuss how marginalized voices, especially African American women's voices, are silenced in systems of patriarchy, and really any other culture is like, what? We're taught to mute our stories because our pain isn't palatable for power. Carl Jung, The Shadow Self. He says, like, hey, we all have a shadow, the parts of ourselves we reject or repress to be accepted. We do. And if you say you don't, you're lying to yourself. Right? What you hide is usually what you're afraid will make people love you less. Paulo Freire, Liberation Through Voice. He basically believed that true liberation comes when the oppressed find and use their voice to name their reality. Remember we talked about, like, okay, CJ's messy, blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, I have ADHD. Yeah, I am messy. What are you going to talk about it now? Well, what are you going to say now? Nothing, because I've already owned it. Brene Brown, Shame and Vulnerability. While not a philosopher in classic sense, her research actually brought the idea of shame-based silence into mainstream leadership, right? We hide what we think will make people disconnect from us. We
Bingo.
give what is palatable. We give what we think people like about us. but we're not born silent, at least not me. We're trained to be. Unmuting the truth is just healing. It's revolutionary, literally. But it have to do it slowly because there are going to be parts of like sometimes we judge ourselves and we're like, oh, we can't tell this because people are not going to like us. But in reality, people really don't care the way that you think they care. They care, just not that way that you think that they care about. Right? What do you think?
Well, that's definitely true on that because there's many people there's so much stuff out there that we can be doing. When you start sharing your story, a lot of people, that's when you start finding out how many it resonates with. When I first started throwing out my motto out there, what surprised me was how many women started coming back and just saying, yeah, they agreed with it. They saw something in it. It just gets tiring to be pushed back, pushed down, boxed up, whether it's somebody else doing it or whether it's us doing it to ourselves. And the minute that they can stand up and walk out, that's great. And I'm trying to remember, you said something at the end of Carl Jung when you talked about him that resonated with me too. Because it's, and I can't remember what it was because I didn't write it down.
No, it says the parts of us that we reject or repress to be accepted.
And that's what it was. There's so many times we sit back and we repress these because we think it's going to be rejected. We think, whether by experience or by what we see in social media or what we're guessing based on what we see in the news, we suppress aspects of ourselves because we don't expect others to be accepting of it, which means then we're no longer being our authentic selves as we were created to be. We're trying to be something we're not. We're trying to fit in, and you can't fit in any place. You either belong or you don't. Trying to fit in means you're covering something to fit in. You're hiding something so that nobody sees. That's fitting in. Fitting in is not, it's not playing that little block game as a kid where it's like the square hole peg goes through the square hole, no problem. We aren't square, we aren't rectangle, we aren't triangle, we aren't a circle. We're a whole lot of stuff. And
We're all shapes and sizes.
exactly. So
Yeah.
you can't expect us to fit anything, and you can't fit.
Yeah. And there's no like all of these coaching, project I realize is that one person's experience is wonderful to coach, but that coaching is good for that one person. And let's say that if that person actually helps, let's say hundreds and thousands, right? Which I see some do, that hundreds of thousands of people that they coach to level up whatever that they're trying to level up has to be willing to do the work. Because I can give you so much information, your head would spin. But if you don't move within even just an ounce of information, then nothing happens. It's really you who's control of you. No amount of coaching, no amount of money, no amount of education, no amount of anything can change you if you don't want to change. It just doesn't, right?
Mm.
Like, for example, for grief, right? The conditioned message on grief, and I keep saying grief because I'm still that way right now, is don't dwell on it. Be strong. What we hide is the aching, messy, inconvenient parts of loss, right? This is an example of like a leadership, right? After losing a loved one, you're expected to return to work and bounce back quickly, right? Crying in public makes people uncomfortable. So you pretend you're okay and just go numb. Some people drink, some people take meds, some people do whatever, right? That's just how they do it. What is the unmuted truth? Well, I'm not over it. I just learn how to carry it without breaking down in public. That's what you unmute. Now, anger is unattractive, unprofessional, so aggressive, right? Like, what do we hide? Our justified rage, whether it's injustice, disrespect, or betrayal at work, right? This is an example that I've seen. A woman in leadership actually told that she's hostile when she creates that boundaries. Like, I'm not going to work after 5. Don't email me after 6. While men are called, oh, you're so confident. Wow, you're so good at creating boundaries. So what does she do? She swallows her frustration and just keep at peace and be quiet, right? My anger is a compass. It tells me where my values are being violated. What do? We need a job, so we just mute ourselves. For fear, condition message: fear is weakness. Don't be fearful. Right, but fear is giving you anxiety, self doubt, imposter syndrome, trauma triggers. Right? When we're terrified to launch a program because it's new and we're just brand new at this, what do? We overly confident because its leaders don't show fear. We're just going to do it. We're going to, but then we have self sabotage in silence. You know, in the back of your subconscious, like there, it might not work. So what are you unmuting? Truth. Fear didn't mean I wasn't ready. Just meant I cared enough to get it right. I don't know. Well, loneliness, it's a big thing. Loneliness is a huge thing. Needing people means you're clingy or you're not independent and you're a bother. Everybody's busy, right? That's the message that you're conditioned to. Everyone's busy. Don't bother them, right? And don't be needy. Don't be telling them all the time because that's neediness. So what do we hide? Longing for that connection or touch or validation or simply just being seen and heard, right? Just like picking up that freaking phone. So what do you do? A successful CEO sometimes posts their, happy photos online but cries alone. I've seen it where relationships where like husband and wife or boyfriend and girlfriend, right? They show like how happy they are and then the next thing you know, the husband murdered the wife. Huh? Because she's lonely. She just wants that. That's the ideal aspect. Think about the next time you're in an argument with someone. The first thing you want to do is post this cryptic fucking message in social media. And then people are like, and then you read in between the lines, you're like, oh, something's wrong, right? And then you're like, I like entertaining myself with gossips. I was like, oh, what happened? I want to know what happened. I'm such a freaking mad at this. Oh my gosh. I want to know like what is the drama here, right? I have my own drama, but I like other people's drama better because then I don't get stressed out. It's entertainment at this point. Literally. But loneliness is true. Even though you're surrounded with hundreds and thousands of people that follow you, or maybe a lot of people that you talk to every day, but deep inside, you just want someone to understand you, right? And not judge you. What about you, sister?
Definitely on that one. Loneliness is going to be a little bit different for everybody in terms of what they need. In terms of all of that, I mean, there's just all these things that we're conditioned to do. You talk about it. You're not supposed to talk about the difficulties you're going through, the troubles you're going through, and sometimes that's the right move at the moment. But still, overall, it's not, because what it's doing is placating to you. You have to always put the best face forward. Like, life doesn't happen the way it really happens. To show that you're always happy, for those that go out and rent a car or rent a plane to make it look like they're doing something, because they're broke, but they want to look successful, thinking that that will make them successful. Sometimes the most successful people are the ones that open up and say exactly how they're doing, what's going on, and how did they get past it? How did
Yeah.
they take those next steps?
I think some people I've seen who rent planes and cars and things like that to look successful is because we are conditioned to be social climbers in some of these cultures, right? The more money you have, the more friends you have. But that's really not your true friends, by the way, guys. If you
Mm-mm.
have friends that like you lost everything today and they still love you and they still will talk to you, that's true friends. The
Right.
people who are like your friends because you have something, we've had a lot of those because they can literally social climb, right? And you'll never get rid of those kinds of people, by the way. So just accept it and just move on because you'll be heartbroken. But so long as you have boundaries on what you can and cannot do with these types of people, it's okay. Like you make sure you have those boundaries. But I have a neighbor actually. He I think he's a veteran who works in the military, but he flies a plane, and he's like, CJ, if you ever want to go fly a plane, you just come and let me know, and then we'll fly a plane around. And he asked my husband, and my husband is scared of like heights, and my husband's like, you can take CJ, but I ain't going. Like, like it's like, I'm like, yeah, we should definitely do that. I don't even touch. He's my neighbor. He's really nice. He's Filipino, and he has nice cars and things like that, and mine too. And he asked me like, why do you like big cars? Like why so big? Like your husband's car is tiny and 4 door and like 12-seater. I said because I want to run people over the road. And he looked at me and was like, I'm just kidding. But there's something real about that statement right now. Like he started laughing. Um, I like big cars because I feel safe. Okay, let's just get it that way. But I think these people are lonely. They want people to have fun with them, see them as something that value. They see value, friendship, and acceptance based on the looks, the money, the success, right? Ev- Everyone wants to do that, but not everyone can. Everyone want to. Mike is hilarious. Look at this. If you want CJ's attention ASAP, talk about AI. Just random discovery I found out today. You should see our text. It was like, I said, what? What? I tested this thing. It doesn't work. And he's like, oh, okay, let me change it. And literally he has like so many audio. I haven't listened to the last 5, Mike, but I will. Yeah, I love AI. It's something that I love. I'm so sorry about this, bro. Happy Father's Day to you. She and I have canceled twice now. I have some issues. Bella's been sick, okay? Like literally, you guys know. She's still coughing right now, actually, and I'm going to Vegas this Friday for work. But I have some time. We need to talk because I really want to learn about teaching women financials, right? Mike and she actually are doing financials, so I need as many help as possible. I'm scared to do many new things coming up soon, but I'm going to do them anyway. Exactly, right? Now let's talk about joy, right? Yes, even when joy gets muted. You know why? Don't brag. Don't make others feel bad, right? Or in the back of your head, you're like, be sensitive. They're going through this. So you have to mute yourself. You can't be happy because somebody else is going through something. What we hide is celebration, our wins, our pride in our success. We hide it because you're a narcissist if you talk about it too much, right?
Mhm.
If you hit a milestone, downplay it. Don't say it because like you're being arrogant and you always talk about yourself. Who the hell's gonna talk about what I do and what I have accomplished if I hide it? Are you guys in my email? Because last time I checked, you have no access to my email. If I don't share that a CEO of FeedSpot literally emails me to promote FeedSpot because I'm top 80, how are you gonna learn that? Oh, you're a narcissist because you talk about it. Get out of here. Just get out of here, right? There's plenty of things that's wrong in my life, believe me. But if it's something that's right that because when I do it, I want to inspire people. I want to create that impact and legacy. I want to inspire that you too can do it if you're consistent in what you do. But what do? We mute ourselves. I will no longer shrink my joy to make room for someone else's comfort right now. I really don't. I don't care, because I'm not
Mhm.
hurting anyone. I really am here to just inspire you to do more for yourself, right? What is the last thing that you want to talk about, sister, on what we've conditioned to hide? Because I pretty much talk about fear and sadness and depression. Oh, last thing is anger. Oh, did we talk about anger?
You touched on it.
Loneliness, we did, and joy, we did. So, what are some of those 6 things that we talked about? We talked about grief, we talked about anger, sadness, and depression. We talked about that. Like, stop being
No,
dramatic and be grateful. That's the one thing that people will say. Stop being dramatic and be grateful. Like, you're always sad all the time. What is this? It's just emotionally exhausting. Like, why do you have mental health struggles all the time? So you don't say anything anymore because you're technically feeling bad because people are just telling you, like, oh my God, you're doing this, right? You're going through depression. You're telling, especially a man, when you're going through sadness or depression, man up, go work out, right? Instead of being asked, like, hey, are you okay? Is that something you want to talk about? No, 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 man up. Just go work out your thing. Do something else productive. You're a man. You don't need to be crying about something, spilt milk, right? That's literally men's issue too. Okay, out of those 6, what what do you want to talk
well,
about?
no, you just got to the depression one, and that's one that I think in many ways that's one of the scariest ones to open up about. We to admit going into depression, to admit being sad. Um, I do it with you guys all the time because I know it's safe to do that. I don't post about it all the time, but I have, because you don't know how other people are going to view it. How are they going to see you? How is that person who's been following you and they're just getting ready to contact you because they want you to do something? If you open your mouth about being sad or depressed, is that going to kill that opportunity once they read your post? And what's your experience from it in the past? Are people making you feel like to say anything about how you're doing other than happy and joyful, maybe being mad at something? But when it comes to depression and being sad, I feel like that's one of those spaces that you just don't go there. You don't tell people because you don't know what that reaction's going to be. You're now opening up yourself to somebody in a very vulnerable way. What are they going to say? What are they going to do? And you're almost afraid to see what happens on the comments if you post about it. You're afraid to you do the post, and it's like you always want that viral post, but will it be, what if that's the one that's viral and like everybody sees that you're depressed now? Even if everybody's supportive, how's that going to come across? How do you move to the next day?
Oh, I'm so depressed. Yes, yes, just put it out there. Oh my God. Depression looks different for a lot of people. And depression actually doesn't just end. Sometimes it's continuous because part of our ADHD, we do have anxiety and depression. So that's full out vulnerability truth right there for me. First of all, I want to thank everybody who actually gave for Elise. We're still continuing to ask. This is Danielle's daughter, Elise. Um, she has been diagnosed with Kawasaki disease right now. She's still in the hospital, by the way, guys. I know we're hoping she could go home soon. Please keep praying. Please keep reposting. Our goal is to hit 50K. We are at 7% of our goal right now. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate it from the bottom of our hearts. Susanna and I are co-organizing it with Danielle, and all the money goes to her for Elise's needs, right? Right now, there's so many testing, so many things, and only certain insurance companies can pay for certain things, right? And this
Right.
is when we need to help our community. And she probably right now, if she's still watching, she'd be like, CJ, this is why I'm telling you to do some insurance so that you can help people to basically have this money. At this moment, we this is our current needs. And so I just want to say thank you to everybody who shared, everybody who cares to share, and everybody who gave. I appreciate you guys. Susanna and I really do appreciate you, for giving the time to even read what's her, diagnosis. And we show up for our community. Whatever your needs are, we show up for our community, not just for our closest circle, but for everyone, right? And that's why I love 50 Inspirational Connections, because whatever your needs right now, you'll get it for free. That's what we do for our community. So thank you
Mhm.
guys so much. Please continue to share. We appreciate you. Yes, yes, we definitely keep sharing, especially in the hounds. I haven't really put it in the hounds yet. I put it out for the public for now, but I know that hounds people are helping. The very first one was our very hounds member. Okay, the very first one was Curtis. And so yes, we appreciate you. Please continue to pray. We definitely need all the prayers we can get as well to bless Elise to get her health going. She's only 6. She literally just graduated kinder. Hello? And she's in the hospital when she should be out right now swimming, playing. It's summer. And
Exactly.
at this point, we're just praying for getting her back to her normal self, period. Right? Her sass, I think, is slowly coming out. But we still need to pray for her health to really be in the normal. Low blood pressure needs to be normal, heart rate needs to be normal, eating needs to be normal. All these bodily functions that we take advantage of, that we think we just have all the time, those needs to be normal. So please keep praying. We believe in miracles, guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. We appreciate you. We love you. And Elise loves you as well. I know she's seeing all these messages. I did
Right.
post the thing. I will post another one, I think, tomorrow for Elise. Maybe I'll have a video and a link as well. But I really appreciate you guys sharing this info. Thank you guys so much. Sister, any last minute thing that you would like to share in terms of unmuted truths, what we've been conditioned to hide? We're going to continue this unmuted conversation every single Sunday. And that's our commitment to mental health or wellness for men for this month of June, because we deserve to be talking about those things,
Hmm.
right? We deserve to be talking about those things. And you're like, what do you know about mental health, man? Hello? I have a father and I have a husband. And I have Dukas. He has mental wellness needs for sure. Let me tell you, that's gonna take a whole lot of conversations with this boy. But we appreciate you guys. We love our community so much, and keep those comments coming. Keep those ideas coming and questions. For me, what I'm going to send the message is going to be after Susanna. Um, whatever your last minute message.
I was wondering if I was going to get in there or not. It's to find the ways to stop letting what had been muting us just to give it up, to see it for what it is, to see it for the roadblock, to see it for the holdback, to see it for that thing that terrifies us, that we need to move beyond. And once we have, to not be afraid to talk about it, not be afraid to share what you've gone through, because somebody else out there is going through the same thing, and they need that guidance to know that it's like they will, it's going to be okay.
Don't worry, we can always add you in there. We don't have the TV stuff anymore until 58, so we're good. So this is my last minute message for all the people out there. If you take nothing else from this moment, remember this. You weren't born to be silent. You were just trained to believe Your truth was too heavy, too loud, or too complicated to be heard. But your story, it's not a liability, it's your legacy in the making. So unmute your voice, unhide your journey, and unlock your impact because the world doesn't need another filtered version of perfection. It needs the real you, raw, rising, unapologetically powerful. And if your voice shakes for your first public speaking, let it shake the room, guys. It doesn't matter. Just go for it, okay? Bye, guys. I love you. We'll see you on Tuesday on Susanna Show, Wednesday at 9 a.m. for Level Up another one, Thursday at 9 a.m. for Level Up another one, and then Wednesday afternoon for Mike's Hounds of Business at 4 p.m. PST because the world revolves around PST, not EST, Mike. I'm just saying. Bye, everybody. See ya.
I started in the silence, behind closed doors. Dreams too loud to keep tucked in the floorboards. Late nights, broke days, no applause in sight. Just coffee, hustling that fire to fight. They said, play small, but I'm built to expand. No silver spoon, just grit in my hand. I wore every note like armor and steel. Visibility's a battle, but I'm real and I heal. From invisible threads to the front of the stage, I'm rewriting the script, turning scars into page. Level up, rise above the fear. Let them hear your voice, make your purpose clear. Every step, every stumble, every tear in the rough. You were made for this moment, you are enough. Level up, break through the doubt. Turn the whispers of your past into a victory shout. You ain't just chasing clout, you're building a legacy. Now the world's gonna see what they couldn't believe. Yeah, what they couldn't believe. See the back end, just a headline glow. But success is built slow, where the struggle don't show. Algorithms change, but your mission's divine. You're the brand, you're the vision, you're the power behind. You gave free just to prove you have value inside. Now it's invoices paid and your name amplified. You're not just in business, you're changing the game. And your visibility, that's more than a name. No more shrinking, this is expansion. No more asking, this is commanding. You've been the spark, now you're the flame. Entrepreneur by fire, fueled by name. Level up, rise above the fear. Let them hear your voice, make your purpose clear. Every step, every stumble, every tear in the rough. You were made for this moment, you are enough. Level up, break through the doubt. Turn the whispers of your past into a victory shout. You ain't just chasing clout, you're building a legacy. Now the world's gonna see what they couldn't believe. Yeah, what they couldn't believe. To the late nights, the lost friends, the risks you took, to the brand you built and the space you shook. Here's your crown, your moment, your spotlight beam. You didn't just chase the dream, you became the dream. Level up.